Hello, my cutie patooties, and welcome the frick in. We are here live on Twitch. We are going to be listening to Gojira. This is the song called Born for One Thing. Before we jump into this, though, just a friendly reminder to please like and subscribe. And with that said, shall we get into it, darlings? Shall we do it? Shall we listen to the musica together? I think so. Elephant. Oh, okay, I was like, bro, that's a very big room and you chose to sit down right beside that guy. It's like my worst nightmare. Oh. That's metal. Now he's a young girl? What? Ugh. That guitar. I don't know exactly what is going on in this video because you had somebody come in, and it's in like a museum setting. Somebody came in, I'm just stating the obvious with a museum setting, but somebody came in, sat down, gave this older gentleman this pill bottle that had like little metal balls in it, and then every time he takes one, he completely changes form. With that in mind, we go into the lyrics. Mortal, spawn on the I can't speak today. Altar, caught in the heart of the blaze, the primal fear of disappearing, becoming a ghost in the void, death. Give a price, put a name, none of it is real in this matter, wandering, distracting, wishing the life of another self. We were born for one thing, tame the greatest fear of all. We were born for one thing, born to face the greatest fear of all. There's kind of like a couple things going on here that I feel like. The primal fear of disappearing, literally stated, becoming a ghost in the void. So I feel like that is kind of like feeling like you don't have, I don't know, feeling unimportant, feeling like anything you do is, you know, like if the, feeling like if you disappeared, no one would care, you know? Like, none of it is real in this matter. Give a price, put a name, wandering, distracting, wishing the life of another self. So, okay, that brings me into the second thing, is like the fear of feeling unseen, but then also the fear, or not the fear, but the wish that you could be somebody else, you know? Wishing the life of another self. And maybe that's what this is about, is like this person gets this drug or, you know, whatever the heck it was, that transforms him into somebody else. So it's like he gets to live their life in their shoes versus his own. And it's kind of like this, either either you look at it as like, I wish I was somebody else because I don't like the life I have, or it's kind of like, it's always really interesting, you know, to try and it's kind of like the thing that keeps popping up in my brain is acting, and it's kind of like taking on somebody else's story, you know, and living that. It's not permanent, obviously, because once you're done filming, that character is over usually, unless it's a TV show or there's, you know, other movies that happen afterwards. You kind of continue doing it, but ultimately, eventually, it ends. So I feel like there's multiple things kind of going on, but it's all kind of centered around one's self and just feeling either unimportant or wishing you were someone else, not happy with yourself, you know? And then it goes on to say, tame the greatest fear of all, which is kind of like, you know, one of the biggest questions that you could really think about, I feel like, is kind of like, why are we here, you know? Kind of that big question that which can bring on a whole bunch of, you know, fear or self-doubt or, I don't know, anxiety, etc., etc., etc. But I feel like that kind of existential question, I feel like is what it's kind of talking about too, is like tame the greatest fear of all, like try to wrestle it, you know, try to be okay with it. That we don't have all the answers kind of thing. But let's continue. Oh, his voice is getting deeper and deeper as he says down. Fun. And they're going down the stairs. That feels like a military drum, or it sounds like that rhythm. That fear's coming a knocking. Literally. I feel like the you know, the change between all those people, yes, you know, could apply to wishing the life of another self, is what they say in the song. But also, like, that this fear is, you know, everyone knows fear. And maybe fear of, you know, not really knowing, you know, what is the answer to the ultimate existential question, you know? There is a section in this song, by the way, that it's not very clear. It was kind of in that moment where there was like some harsh vocals, but there was also, I felt like, some distortion and stuff like that. All is blur in the maze, we put an end to all. I'm not 100% sure what it's trying to say with that. I will be honest. But we're all drawn into ourselves in a collective coma. Remember gazing up for answers, and now we're staring down. So it's kind of like, I think when it says remember gazing up for answers, maybe, I don't know whether that has to be like looking to religion for answers, but then also kind of like, there's just so many existential questions that you could ask yourself that is very scary to ask yourself. And it's kind of like the struggle of being okay not having all the answers too. It was really interesting with the drums there at the end too, that almost had kind of like a military kind of rhythm to it, and kind of made me think like it's time for battle, you know? And then yeah, just that one definitely sent me down rabbit holes. I feel like that's the thing, is like sometimes there's music that can be kind of like oh, that was one other thing. The fact that they're running through a museum also kind of makes me think like, again, it's talking about the existential question of like, how did we get here, or why are we here, or what is our ultimate purpose as human beings, kind of thing. Because it's like they're going through a museum that is kind of like taking us through, I don't know if it actually took us through, you know, the age of man kind of section of the museum, but like it definitely took us through a whole bunch of different sections, which, I mean, having it be through a museum is kind of like also a little nod for history, I think. And but that's just some of the stuff I got from it. The band could mean something completely different with when they wrote this song. You could get something completely different from this song. That's just what the little bits and pieces I got from it. But, you know, sometimes there's certain things that are more kind of like abstract, and so people get different things from it. And then other times there's something like, you know, the primal fear of disappearing. I'm like, that's pretty straightforward. But all in all, that was really interesting. So thank you very much for recommending that. I hope that you enjoyed this reaction. If you did, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you want to see more. And I will see you cutie patooties in the next one. Bye, y'all.